What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about why you're stuck in these situationships, okay? And they don't transition into relationships, or you're in something with somebody, but you don't get what you want out of it, okay? So jumping right into it, let's start it with this, okay? Well, we'll draw a circle, okay? This is, I'm going to say your situation. We'll say this is your situation, okay? And what you want to do with this usually, what a lot of women don't understand is there has to be a goal with this. A lot of women love this whole let's talk and see what happens type of thing. Let's build chemistry. Let's get to know each other first. Or Elliot, I don't even know if I want a relationship. Get that shit out of here. Okay, get out of here. This circle represents structure. Now, what do I mean by this? You have to frame from the beginning, ladies, that what you're looking for is on the same page as this guy, meaning you both are emotionally available, you both want a relationship, and you're dating to find a relationship. You're framing this, I guess we could have used a square. You're framing this as, okay, cool, we're on the same page, let's see what happens. Now, the analogy I gave one of my clients, that's why I'm making this video, is she's in a situation where she didn't do this, and she's on a road right now, like a road trip with this guy, but there's no signs anywhere that tell them where they're at, right? There's no signs that say turn this way, turn that way, go forward, or whatever. So they're just kind of on this trip enjoying each other, but there's no actual destination. Another analogy I used with her is like, and I use this because I have a degree in literature or literary theory. It's like reading a book, okay? And in this book, there's no plot line, there's no conflict, there's no, like build up, climax, resolution, falling action, there's none of that stuff. It's just two people interacting. And it's like you're flipping through the pages and you're like, okay, cool, but where's the momentum? It's all momentum based. So here's what I'm trying to say, ladies. What you have to do is structure your situationship. And there's several ways of doing that. The number one way is to have the talk in the beginning, which ironically, my client did not have with this guy. So what you have to understand, and the reason I'm making this video is if you don't have the talk, many things are going to happen. He's going to get the advantage, okay? And what I mean by advantage is he's going to have power. He's going to have his cake and eat it too, and he's going to go on this trip with you, which gets access to your time and most likely intimacy. And if that's the case, why would he transition into something else? Why would he transition into this goal? There'd be no reason to. There's no reason to. He's, actually back up on that a little bit. He has the advantages. He's getting the advantages and stuff like that. I would say, well, why would he? Well, to contradict myself a little bit, if a guy truly liked you, he wouldn't put himself in a position to lose you. If a guy truly liked you, he would transition into a relationship despite this. The difference is you don't know which guy he is, right? So you're playing a game of risk avoidance. Risk avoidance, okay? You're playing a game of that. So that's why you have to have this talk. Another situation, again, another thing is if you don't have the talk, you're not framing these type of things, okay? You have to do this. You have to structure everything in order to know where it's going. The second way of doing this is to put a lot of value, hopefully you guys can see this down here, is to put a lot of value on your time and intimacy, okay? On your time and who you're intimate with. If you are not putting value on your time or who you're intimate with, you are screwed. This all works in a bubble, right? Like these two things work together, like in unison, along with what I'm saying here. So let me give you an example. If you're talking to a guy, but you're not having the talk on what this is, he's going to get an advantage. You're not framing the situation. You're increasing your risk, okay? And at the same time doing that, you're giving this guy a lot of time, and you're probably going to be intimate with him, which again goes to this. You're on this road. And it's like, well, what's going on here? And you have to understand, a guy is going to take advantage of this. And women are like, men are so evil. Men are this, men are that. It's like this just naturally happens because there's no structure. What you guys have to understand, maybe I can write over here, is courtship is structure, okay? Equals structure. Like that's why I tell women, you have to get a man to invest his resources in you. You have to get a man to do that because that helps frame this structure. It helps frame it. If you are not getting courted, okay, there is no structure. It's just very convenient. And in my client situation, don't worry, client, I told her it was going to be confidential, so I'm just going to be very broad with this. Their texting was very sporadic, and again, this could be anyone, so this isn't giving anything away. But the texting was very sporadic, and it was going on for a long time. And I told her, this is the natural unfolding of events of what's going to happen when there's no structure. It's going to be sporadic. And when you're doing it for so long as they have, like that's the vibe, that's the routine. I tell women, if you want casual, you're going to be treated casual. Now, of course, she didn't want it, but that's the vibe that came off, and that's what happens, okay? So you have to have structure. You have to have a guy invest in you. You have to have consistency, which I'm going to say is the third thing, okay? Is consistency. Consistency, okay. Which I'm not going to go into that. You all know what that basically means. Having a guy consistently investing his resources into you over time. And then the fourth thing, as you all know, hey, 8 weeks. 8 weeks, okay? Now, as you see by the title of this video, you're like, Elliot, what does all this have to do with getting a guy to transition into a relationship? There's two goals you have. There's two goals you have as a woman in these 8 weeks. Two. There's only two. One is to maintain this structure so you don't get played and put into other categories that you don't belong because a guy's trying to get a benefit out of you. A guy's trying to negotiate something that's advantageous for him at the cost of you, which ironically shows, in my opinion, that the guy's not interested in a relationship. If you want more on that, check out my guides. I talk about it all the time in my paid guides. That's the first thing. You have to structure by doing these things that, okay, what we have is the same, we're on the same page here, okay? We want the same thing. The second thing you have to do is focus on building attraction. So if I draw think of this as a hill, right? Here's the ball, you're pushing the ball up, you want to get the momentum, okay? You want to get the momentum on the way down. Attraction is momentum based, meaning in these 8 weeks, if you do structure correctly, meaning, God, I could go on and on with this now, but I talk about it in the guides, like reciprocal reciprocity. Women are like, yeah, but it's harder than that, Elliot. When do I reach out? What happens if he doesn't reach out? Who should playing dates, who should do this, who should do that? He should be doing it. It should be like a 70-30, right? He should be, if you go on 10 dates, okay, he should have planned 10 or 7 of them. You should have planned 3 of them, okay? If it comes to paying for dates, when it comes to reaching out to each other, he should be doing it 70% of the time. You should be doing it 30% of the time. And the 30% of the time you should be doing it, it's more of a gesture, right? Like, hey, thank you. You gotta appreciate how you've been consistent. I appreciate, you taking me to these nice dates. Let me do this for you. Let me do that for you, right? Guys love that feedback. That's how it should work. But as soon as that stuff isn't happening, ladies, right? As soon as that stuff isn't happening, an alarm bell should be going off on your, I was gonna draw something else, but an alarm bell should be going off in your head like, But that's not what this video is about. If you want more on that, it's all about the guide. But your goal is to maintain this, which, trust me, ladies, this will help you more than you think. You'll read the title of this video and you're like, I'm already doing all that. No, you're not. No, you're not. If you're talking to a guy and it's been longer than 8 weeks, you're not doing it. If you're giving a guy more chances than he deserves, you're not doing it. If a guy is sporadic, you're not doing it. If a guy is coming and going or has done that before, has fed you some bullshit and you fell for it, you're not doing it. If you haven't heard from a guy in 3, 4, 5 days, you're not doing all this stuff. If you haven't had the talk, you're not doing it. If you hooked up with him and he didn't deserve it, you're not doing it. If you're giving him, you get what I'm saying? I know a lot of you, 90% of you fall in these categories I just mentioned. You're not maintaining structure correctly, right? So long as you do this, and along the way you're building attraction, meaning you're fun, flirty, banter. You know, you're really good with banter. You're quick wit. You guys are building chemistry and depth. And at the same time, you're a cute little fucking, what do they say? Pistol? Cute little, whatever. You're piston? It's a saying, sorry. You're a doll, right? You're cute as a button, cute as can be. And he's sexually attracted to you and you're doing all these things, you're set. You're set. You just got to do all this, okay? So I know I'm a little all over the place here, but these things are really important. If there's anything you can get out of this video, is to understand that there is a goal when you're interacting with every guy. Hopefully you guys are on the same page. You have to uphold structure, and you do that by talking, having the talk. And again, there's reasons why you have to have the talk. You have to be high value with your time and who you're intimate with. You have to look for consistency. If he's not consistent, there's a problem. And at 8 weeks, I don't care what he tells you. If it's long distance, maybe something different. You know, I would say if it's long distance, I would say 2 or 3 visits. Unless the visits are like 2-3 months in between, they stop. But at 8 weeks, you gotta have a talk, okay, ladies? So with all that being said, if you're interested in a phone session with yours truly, link is down below. I can help you with all this and more, give you a plan. I love you all. Take care and peace.